And what I mean by that is they give you what sine of u is, which is negative 7 over 25, and then they give you cosine of v, which is negative 4 over 5. But when we look at our formula, they want us to find sine of u plus v. We need to figure out we already know what sine of u is. We know what cosine of v is. But we need to figure out what cosine of u is and sine of v is. So that's a little bit different because when we had the unit circle, we looked at just the x and the y coordinates, right? And it was pretty basic. But this, we noticed that these are not coordinate points that are on our unit circle. So they said that our theta has to be in quadrant 3. So that means we're going to have two different triangles with here's angle u, and we'll say here's angle v. All right, so here if they say the sine is negative 7 over 25, and here they say cosine of v is negative 4 over 5. Do you guys see how I drew the triangles because they had to be in quadrant 3? All right, your angle is going to be a central angle, and then you create them like that. So therefore, that tells us, since they're in quadrant 3, that our sine and our cosine are both going to be negative, right? Our x and our y values on this triangle are always going to be negative. So to figure out my final point, I need to use Pythagorean theorem. Well, here, this is a Pythagorean triple. From geometry, I'll do that. Here, I'm going to have to use a little math. So I could say negative 7 squared plus my x coordinate squared is going to equal 25 squared. So therefore, this becomes 49 plus x squared equals 625. Subtract 49, x squared equals 500 and, what is it? Again, I know it's equals 14. 4076. Someone just double check my math, please, for me. It's beginning of the morning. Let's just see. That's. I don't even know. What is that? Okay, and then taking the square root of this, you're going to obtain, I believe it's going to be plus or minus 14 if my memory serves me correctly. Jeez, everybody's not already. It's 24? Okay. Yeah, right, it wouldn't be 14. 14 is 196. All right, so we have plus or minus 24. Just hold on to it real quick. I'll go and pick it up. So we have plus or minus 24, right? But ladies and gentlemen, Mackenzie, when you're looking at this, and plus or so you have plus or minus 24. You notice this triangle is going to be in the third quadrant, right? So since it's in the third quadrant, we know that it has to be negative and not the positive value. All right? So now we know by looking at this, because look where the third quadrant is. Third quadrant, the x is always going to be negative. No. Yes? All right. So now what I'm going to simply do is let's just plug in our points. So we have sine of our two angles. All right. So we have sine of u plus v. So let's take a look at sine of u. We already know that. Negative 7 over 25. Times the cosine of v, which we are given here. Times negative 4 over 5. Plus the cosine of u. So we go to our angle u. Well, cosine of u is negative 24 over 25. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Times the sine of v. So we go to v. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's negative 3 over 5. So now, do you guys see how I just plugged in my values? The main important thing, I was given these two values. I had to use my triangles to find my other two values. And now I can just simplify. Multiply across, it becomes a positive 28 over 125 plus 2448. That's going to be, is it multiplied by 3? Yeah. Okay, I just don't remember. I guess I didn't do this one last time. Over 125. Then you have 100 over 125, which now you can reduce. And you could say that 25 will go into the top 4 times, and it goes into the bottom 5 times. So it reduces down to 4/5. 28 plus 72. Okay? That's it. So these are a little bit different. You just need to use triangles to help you with these.